Enterprise's Captain Archer set a record no other Star Trek captain ever matched. Star Trek Enterprise's Captain Jonathan Archer Scott Bakula made all kinds of history, including setting a record no other captain of the Enterprise has ever matched. A Star Trek prequel set in the 22nd century, Enterprise retconned Archer as the first captain of the Enterprise, preceding Captain James T. Kirk William Shatner by a century, and Captain Jean-Luc Picard Patrick Stewart by 200 years. Commanding the NX-1 Enterprise, Starfleet's first Warp-5 capable starship, Captain Jonathan Archer led United Earth's first expedition into deep space. The NX-1 Enterprise made several first contacts, and Archer forged several key alliances, including with the Andorians and the Tellurides. Archer's Enterprise laid the foundation for the formation of the United Federation of Planets. Hailed as the greatest explorer of the 22nd century, Captain Archer was also honored in a unique way for his impact on the galaxy. Star Trek Enterprise's Captain Archer has 2 planets named after him. Captain Jonathan Archer is the only captain of the Enterprise who has 2 Star Trek planets named after him. Star Trek Enterprise Season 1's 3rd episode saw Captain Archer and his crew land on a strange new world that eventually received the designation Archer 4. However, the Earth-like planet was infested with a toxic pollen that drove Enterprise's crew into dangerous fits of paranoia. Archer 4 was considered uninhabitable until the 23rd century when an antidote was developed for the planetary pollen. Millions of people lived on Archer 4 by the mid-23rd century. Star Trek The Next Generation Season 3's classic Yesterday's Enterprise first mentioned Archer 4, with the USS Enterprise D giving Klingons a pasting in an alternate timeline. The second planet named after Captain Jonathan Archer is named, appropriately, Archer's Planet. However, Archer's planet was never seen in Star Trek. It was only mentioned in a biography of Captain Archer seen in Star Trek, Enterprise's Mirror Universe set 2-parter, In a Mirror, Darkly. After his decade as captain of the Enterprise, Jonathan Archer became one of the most distinguished leaders of both Starfleet and the United Federation of Planets. Archer was promoted to Admiral and named Chief of Staff, Starfleet Command. Archer then became an ambassador to Andoria and a Federation councilman. Finally, Jonathan Archer served as Federation president from 2184 to 2192. Both Captain Kirk and Captain Picard became admiral, but neither took on official roles as Federation officials nor did they ever become president. Sadly, the crippling injuries suffered by Captain Christopher Pike Jeffrey Hunter/Anson Mount ended his Starfleet career as fleet captain. Most of Captain Archer's legendary post-Starfleet career happened after Star Trek Enterprise's 4 seasons, including the 2 planets named after him that are official Star Trek canon. When Star Trek Enterprise premiered in 2001, it had an unusual mandate. As a prequel to the original series, the show was tasked with exploring a less technologically advanced era of Starfleet, a time before the Federation, before Warp 9, and even before Red Alert klaxons were standard. But it wasn't just the show's setting that made history. Its central character, Captain Jonathan Archer, played by Scott Bakula, quietly set a Star Trek record that no other captain, not Kirk, not Picard, not Janeway, nor Sisko, has ever matched. Captain Archer commanded the very first Earth starship capable of Warp 5, the Enterprise NX-1. And over the show's 4-season run, he became the Star Trek captain with the highest total number of first contacts ever depicted on screen. While other captains certainly made historic encounters, Captain Kirk tangled with Klingons and Romulans, Picard brokered peace with countless alien civilizations, and Janeway made contacts deep in the Delta Quadrant, none of them initiated as many formalized first contact scenarios as Jonathan Archer did in such a short span of time. A captain of firsts. To understand the scope of Archer's record, you have to consider the context of Enterprise. The series was set in the mid-22nd century, roughly 100 years before Kirk's legendary 5-year mission. The galaxy was still relatively unknown. Starfleet, barely a decade old, had only just begun serious interstellar exploration. Without the United Federation of Planets to guide diplomatic protocols or centuries of established interstellar law, Archer's mission was truly pioneering. From the series pilot, Broken Bow, Archer demonstrated a curiosity and diplomatic spirit that defined his tenure. Throughout Enterprise's 98-episode run, he personally made first contact with more than 24 alien species, a staggering number even by Starfleet standards. These included the Suliban, Xindi, Denobulans, Andorians, Tellarites, and even early encounters with the Romulans and Klingons that would shape centuries of galactic politics. No other Star Trek captain has been depicted on screen making such a high density of first contacts. Later captains operated in a galaxy where much of the local stellar neighborhood had already been charted and contacted. Kirk and Picard certainly expanded the known universe, but Archer's mission was the foundation upon which all of their exploits were built. Archer's diplomacy shaped the Federation. The significance of Archer's many first contacts goes far beyond tallying alien handshakes. His diplomacy directly paved the way for the formation of the United Federation of Planets. His tireless work in balancing the volatile relations between the Andorians and Vulcans, in particular, laid the groundwork for eventual alliance building that culminated in the founding charter of the Federation in 2161. Throughout Enterprise, Archer had to balance his innate optimism about the galaxy with the practical difficulties of diplomacy. He didn't have the luxury of the Prime Directive, which later captains cited as an ethical compass. Archer had to make judgment calls in real time, often under immense pressure, and often in situations where humanity's reputation in the stars was still fragile. One of the most compelling aspects of Enterprise was watching Archer evolve from a brash, somewhat naive explorer into a seasoned leader capable of navigating complex interstellar politics. His success in fostering first contacts, often with hostile or suspicious alien species, speaks volumes about his perseverance, charisma, and deep-seated belief in peaceful exploration. The quiet legacy. When Enterprise concluded in 2005, it left behind a mixed legacy in terms of viewership and critical acclaim. But in universe, Captain Archer's achievements were monumental. By the time of Star Trek: The Next Generation, Archer is remembered as a foundational figure in Starfleet history. Multiple later series reference Archer as a seminal figure. His ship, Enterprise NX-1, is displayed in Starfleet headquarters, and even Jonathan Frakes' Commander Riker reflects on Archer's legacy in the series finale. These are the voyages. While Archer never enjoyed the fanfare or iconic status of Kirk or Picard in popular culture, his record of first contacts is a testament to his role as a builder of bridges, quite literally the architect of Starfleet's exploratory ethos. It's easy to overlook just how groundbreaking his mission was because later series show a galaxy where starbases, trade routes, and diplomatic accords are commonplace. Archer operated in a frontier where Earth was a small, unknown player, and through his efforts, he elevated humanity to the galactic stage. Why Archer's record still stands. The structure of later Star Trek series made it nearly impossible for any subsequent captain to match Archer's record. By the time of Kirk's era, the Federation was well established. The Enterprise's 5-year mission under Kirk certainly involved exploration, but many of the show's conflicts were military or political entanglements with known powers like the Klingons and Romulans. Picard's Next Generation Enterprise continued exploration into the outer reaches, but even that mission often